Well, here we are, day 2 of Christmas. Let me tell you the story of St. Thomas More and me for Christmas. About 20 years or so ago, Henry Herrera, who was the choir director of St. Thomas and is, came to me because he knew I was a writer. He said, Mike, I got an idea. I will do a series of Christmas carols and lessons, and I'd like you to do an introduction to each one. That's what we did the first year. Well, the congregation liked it so much that we decided to do it a second year. And they liked it so much we did it the third year. Then about the fourth year, I told the Holy Spirit, these people want something new, and I don't have anything. And the Holy Spirit said, well, I've been waiting for you to come to me. And so each year he's come to me with a poem. This is the very first reading I did for that Christmas Eve Mass. Dylan Thomas said, do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Even as we gather in the darkness of this night, all over the world, here in America, in Asia, in Europe, in the Mideast, and even in his own birthplace, there are those who are trying to extinguish the light of Jesus Christ. But we, you and I, are called to be his light bearers. As you go out into the world, do not go out as small, bright lanterns by the door, only lighting the path for those who have already found their way. But go out as blazing beacons, sending your light out to the whole world, proclaiming the peace and salvation that only Jesus Christ can give. Proclaim it in your hearts, proclaim it in your homes, proclaim it everywhere. Go to the mountains. The poem that went along with that, I'll read for you on Epiphany Sunday. But today, I'm simply going to read one that gave me several years later, called Census. The king said, come down and be counted. So they had to make preparation. And they came from every village and town, from every part of the nation. They came over hills and mountains, through valleys and desert sand, across seas and lakes and rivers in response to the king of the land. They packed up the clothes and the babies and food, for they had to be fed, which was somewhat strange since they were going to a place called the House of Bread. They came because the king had called them. He wanted to know their number, although to him they were both each worth less than a stick or a stone or a stick of lumber. But two started out on that journey because the king's father had called. The road they took may have looked the same, but it wasn't the same at all. That little town was buzzing that night, with people running all around, trying to find a place to stay or any piece of ground. But two found a stable quiet, except for the sound of wings of angels guarding the new baby, who is the King of Kings. And he knows all about you, the journeys that you have taken, all the roads you have traveled, both good roads and those mistaken. He's wondered why when you've fallen, you didn't even see his hand reaching out from heaven to save you from the ever-sinking sand. So when the world seems too much upon you, and your troubles cannot be surmounted, come on up, says the King of Kings. Come on up and be counted. Please know how important you are to God and to us. Merry Christmas from Mike and Teresa.